I'm just trying to reach the rest of these pieces here. So, we are going to start matching stuff up. We need the star of the next part, our main zipper panel, fold the all right, just like on the front pocket, we are matching the smaller side. That's our front. We're going to go ahead and pin this around. We are going to sew, and then we are going to sandwich our lining piece in. Now remember, our lining pieces have the pocket open. A good rule of thumb right now is to make sure the zippers are open. Honestly, unless you're using a locking zipper, you can usually get them open, no problem. If you forget, it's just a pain in the butt. I'm going to pin all the way to the zipper, where the zipper ends, I guess I should say, where the gusset begins. And then do the same on this side. Line up our bottom. All right, we're almost done pinning this. Alright, we are ready to sew the first part of this final assembly. Alright, what I'm doing right now is my seams were a little bit bigger on this piece than what they should have been. So I have a little excess on the corners, and I just equally spread it out so that it will still look all right. If the gusseted piece was a little too big because I didn't take big enough seams, I would have done the same thing and tried to put the excess into this part. So that's why I started at the top and worked to the edge of the gusset so that this part was perfect. And then I started at the bottom and I kind of pulled it like this so that this is where I would end on each side to finish off pinning it up. So we are going to go ahead and stitch this. This is probably one of the hardest parts with getting but for the next part, open the zipper here. I pop the ears in so that they are out of the way. I open this zipper and I just fold it in. And you just kind of get it smushed, and at this point you could add your pocket and start the pinning. However, I like to do it step by step so that each layer is fully caught in the seams and go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch this, put the lining piece in, stitch that, and come back for the first birthing of our bag. Alright, we are on the final assembly. I am threading my machine. I had to take a break to sew a bag for a customer. Now that we are done and that has been finished, I can go ahead and finish this. So I have already pinned my zipper panel gusset to the front panel of our bag. And now we're just going to stitch this with a 1/4 1/2" seam allowance. And I just push it out the way the best I can as I go around. There are a few spots where you kind of got to reach in and do it. Around the zipper is usually the hardest. But that's just because the zipper's a little rigid. So the order that we're going to do this is front panel, front lining, birth it, back panel, back lining, burn it, birth it, not burn. Sometimes I do want to burn stuff. And then after we birth them both, I will stitch my pockets closed. We're going to move over and pin our lining in and then stitch that, and we will show the birthing process. Alright, we just finished stitching our zipper panel to our front panel. I'm pulling all my pins out. And I just put them into my wool heat pad. Somewhere in all my packing boxes, I have a magnetic pin that you can just drop them. Just don't know where it's at the moment from the move. Alright. Each step you will see me check my seams. Not because I'm worried I didn't catch anything. It's more of checking to make sure that it lays the right way. So, we have the front part complete. My seams look pretty good. I'm rolling the seam in between my fingers to get it pushed out properly. Another way you can do it is to take like a chopstick and just roll it around. But our front is complete. We're now going to add the lining. So turn it back inside out, tuck my ears. Let's see, I tuck my ears into the front pocket. end, I will hand stitch them and tack them down so that they are connected to the bag. Would it be easier to do it right now? Yes. The only problem is then they run the risk of getting in my way, and I don't like that. So I wait until I am done before I stitch my hole shut for my, in my pocket, my birthing hole. I'm just trimming loose threads. They drive me nuts. Alright, so we have our one lining piece. It doesn't matter which is which. They're both lining pieces. They're both the same. And we are going to now sandwich this together and make a little I'm trying to think of which way I want to pin it. Alright, so when pinning this, I am going to pin it so that the pointy part of my pins right here are on the bottom of where I'm going to sew. So I'm going to sew with this part facing up and stitch along the line that I currently have for when I put the front panel on. Because of the pocket though, I sometimes like to stitch it with the pocket side up. It's just a personal preference. There's no right or wrong way in which to do this. I just like all my pins to go the same direction and to be on the bottom of what I'm working on, so that when I put my hand to feed it through, I'm not stabbing myself constantly. If that makes sense to you, why? Oops, I just dropped a pin. Normally, I have in my old house, I had a wood floor, and I could just sweep up or see them quite easily. At the new house, we have a carpet on the floor, but because I'm barefoot half the time, I don't like leaving pins on the floor. However, I don't see it. I'm going to have to invest in a magnet to pick up pins. So just like we pinned the outer, the front panel, we're doing the exact same process here with our lining. Just slowly going around. With the pocket, you do not want to accidentally stitch that into the seam. Now we're on the side. For the corner, I try to do the center of the corner and then let it fold naturally. Alright, so we got this pinned around. I'm going to add another one right here in the corner itself. Alright. Now remember, the pins are on this side. I'm going to take one pin. I'm going to fold this corner down, take a pin, and put that through. I'm going to do the same on this other corner. And then I'm going to take the sides and pin that. So it looks like this. We are then going to manipulate it and stitch around our current seam line, and I will be right back to show you how we birth it. Alright, we are stitching our lining. I am just following my previous stitch lines. Alright, now as we're coming up to this pocket, where the zipper part is, I have to go a little bit slower. Because there's not as much room there. We got through there. And I'm just lifting up and adjusting from underneath and then pulling it back down so it's flat to get through this side. Right. I made it all the way around. I'm going to back stitch. I'm going to pull my pins and we are going to bird this. Alright, we have our pins out. We are going to birth the front part of the bag. Make sure you don't forget to take the pins out at the corners here. But we stick our hand in. I tend to grab about midway down, but because the pocket's there, I'm just going to grab the front and flip the pocket out like this. And then I'm going to reach in and grab a corner. You can see where it's grabbed. And pull through. I checked my seams before I did this when I pulled the pins out to make sure that everything was caught well. I'm pulling threads from the seam. Now, I stick the pocket back in and zip it right now. I am not stitching that pocket closed yet. And the reason for that is I need to go in through that hole to tack these ears up. But for now, I can zip these all up, straighten out my front pocket here. And there we go. We have the front half of the bag complete. Just to tack these down. I still am not going to do that until the very end. We are now going to add our back panel. See if I can slide this back a little. There we go. I have my notches made. What I'm going to do is unhook I'm going to put them through the handle, the carry handle, so that all of this stays out of the way. Alright, so we have everything good. I'm going to turn this so that the right side is on the inside. Find my center snip. And I'm going to lay it down I'm just putting the seam ripper out of the way and grabbing my pins on the side here. Now for this one, it is better to have the bulk, this part of the bag, up when we do our seam. So that means I pin from the back to the front so that my pins don't poke me as we're doing this. Well, more so is when I'm sewing it. Ow. I'm going to go about halfway here to the end of the zipper part of the panel. Now that I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom and line that up. Sounds like there's a dog down here, but I don't see him. Okay, so the reason why I say it's better to stitch it this way, I just like to pull this part down as I'm going around. It's curling up a little. We do have and this I can move down and out of my way as I'm going around and can see what I got going on. Also around the zipper, sometimes easier to open this part. I don't use locking zippers, so I can always get them open from the inside. When you're doing your linings though, and attaching, if I forget to open the zipper before I stitch, I just stick my finger and pull. So to me, if it's open or closed, it doesn't matter. If you have a locking zipper, it won't work that way. So it's best to always just make sure that they're open before you do this stitching. I think I forgot to mention that. I don't remember if I did. But yeah, we want to make sure our zippers are open prior to pinning them in, especially if you're using locking zippers. But we're going to go ahead and stitch this, take our pins out, pin this. This is going to be the hardest pinning that we actually do because we have to smush all of this in and it gets a little tight, so we do a lot of here, 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 and then we'll get the corners, and then we'll just like keep going around adding more and more so that the bulk is absorbed in there well. But I will be right back and I will show you how I get that pinned on. We have just this stitching one more time around for the liner, and then we're going to turn it and do a couple tacks on our ears and stitch up our pockets, and our bag will be complete. Alright, I just finished stitching the back panel to our zipper gusset. I am going to, I can visibly see that all of my lines are good. The only problem is that got a little wonky. I just trim it off. No one will ever know. That's what you can tell yourself a lot when sewing. If you don't point out that you got a little wonky, no one will ever really know. You are your own worst critic. I can tell you all my mistakes in a bag, and nobody notices most of them. Alright, so we're going to take our lining piece. I have my notch at the top and the bottom. I'm going to line those up first. And I go each side of the notch. to pin. And remember, I pin with, so that this is going to be the top in the next step. Now we're going to pull that. You can see, I mean, we're really pulling here. And get it lined up here at the bottom. I'm going to go in just inside each side there. Alright. So for the side seam, I'm kind of just guesstimating at this point. And I'm going to tack it down with a pin. I'm also pushing as much of that out of my way as possible. So now I have it pretty good. I'm going to work and get that corner done, and then one more at the bottom for now. Now I'm going to do this corner. I'm pinning this upside down. This is very difficult to do upside down. I knew I was having problems doing it upside down. I wasn't getting my pin all the way through. And I'm stuff and pin. It's, like I said, this is the hardest part in finishing off this bag. Trying to get it all stuffed in there and pinned. This is probably also the hardest on my hands. Pinching it closed to pin around. As you can see, I still have this little spot here, but I'm getting some extra ones down here for this final pulling. And we're almost done. Probably 2 more pins. And then we are going to pin up our pocket like we did before. Alright. And I just fold it into a triangle. And pop a pin in it. Alright. So our last major bit of stitching is going to happen right now. We will then birth it, and I need to locate a hand needle to tack our ears back. It takes a couple seconds. I usually just go through a few times, rotate, and do it again. So let's get this stitched and come back, and I will show you how we finish off the bag. All right, we are stitching the last lining piece. Whoops. And we are done with that. We're going to pull the pins, and we are going to birth this last piece. All right, we have this stitched. I went ahead and pulled the pin out of where I had it in the pocket. Now I'm pulling the pins, and I'm just sticking them in the wool heat pad. Alright, move our pins out of the way. We are done with them. Alright, as you can see, I snagged this pocket on the one side. I'm going to break that one stitch. I am going to put it back on the machine real quick. I'm just going to turn and do it, but I'm just going to restitch this one spot where it was. To bird this part. Same as last time. I pull it down. I pull what I can out. I reach in and grab, and I got it all out. Alright. The hard part is all over. We're going to pull our straps back out of that carry handle. Oops. We have alright, when all that pulling, I'm just gonna refire that up because I don't want it to fray later on and ruin the bag. I'm gonna check the other side while I'm here. The other side's still good. Alright, so we pulled the straps out. Go ahead and connect that one. Connect that one. Alright. So our bag is basically done. I just gotta remember where I stuck the piece for inside. Alright. So that's where our pins will go. Now for our pockets. This pocket is good. I'm just moving the straps out the way. Alright, so this pocket's good. I'm going to take my index fingers at both corners of the pocket and I'm going to pinch and pull. And that should slide right in. You can go ahead and press it so that it will stay, or you can put a couple little pins there. I folded approximately like a 1/2 inch. You can do whatever is easier for you. Ow, I just stuck the pin into my finger. Alright, so I got just 4 pins on that side, and then we just top stitch that closed as close as we can. Now for the other side, we're gonna open our pocket back up and pull it out. I have a needle with some thread. It is not the same thread I was using, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and tie off on the back. Alright, so I knotted it. I'm going to go in through this pocket. I'm going to hold the ear with my hand. So I'm holding the ear up like so. I'm going to poke it through. It's hard to show this. I'm going to poke it through one layer, well, I guess it's both layers of the front panel there, but only one layer of the ear. So I kind of go in at a slight angle sideways, and then I carefully pull it through. And I just do it a few times. I go up a little higher. And this is just for aesthetic purposes. The ear itself is secure in the bag. They're not going to come off. You could use a little fabric glue if you don't want to do this part by hand. I'm making this for a 7-year-old. Well, I'm giving it to a 7-year-old little boy. Fabric glue is not going to be an option for me. Alright, and then we're just going to tie that off. So, there's no stitches on this side, but the ears secured in there well on this side. We're going to go ahead and stitch that last ear. I just need more thread. I have black thread. Maybe I can thread a needle. I'm not sure. My vision is horrible for this. Alright, we got it. Alright, so I didn't get it on the knot. There we go. So, same thing here. Oh. I hate hand sewing, by the way. I absolutely hate it. Alright. So, I seem to have, oh, I must have gotten it out. I was like, I have a little knot there. And I'm getting it tangled up. Alright, tie that off. I have enough thread left over. I'm going to do one more tack on this ear. There we go. And I'm just knotting this up good. go. Alright. So, our ears are tacked on. They're not going anywhere. They will always be perfect. And same as the other pocket, I just grab those corners and push that all in. Alright, got the pins. We are gonna go stitch these up quick and we'll come back and admire our work. Alright, we're pulling our pins. We have stitched snips. Snipping that little piece of thread. Shove it in. I just push my fingers in the corners to get them to go down. Pull the pins on this pocket. Push them all the way in. Zip it closed. And our bag is complete. I'm not gonna lie, I want to currently take the iron and iron this flat again. Don't recommend it. Just because that's what I want to do doesn't mean that's what I'm going to do. But here is our finished bag. My nephew will love it. I will post pics when he gets it, and maybe a video you can see his reaction. He does know he's getting it because of this video, well, the series of the videos, but he may or may not get it before we leave for Disney. Don't know, but if he asks, I'll give it to him because I can't tell the kid no. Thank you for watching. Remember, post pictures of your bags when you're done. I would love to see them. And I will see you guys later.